Welcome to the Deviant Witchery Show, where a witch can be a witch. And many people have asked us what a deviant witch is, and that can be a little bit different for everybody. But it means do what needs to be done in an environment where the witch does not need to worry about judgments or saying the wrong thing. What we seek to do is to empower and inspire witches, helping them find their own calling. What we express in these videos is our own personal experiences and influences. We encourage you to comment on our videos, join us on our page, and also in our Facebook group. But keep in mind, when people apply to our Facebook group, we do check. So if you do not have anything pagan related, you probably will not be let in. You can probably message me if you want. We do this to encourage discussion and prevent lurkers in the group. We also have a Teespring campaign right now, so if you want to buy an awesome Deviant Witch shirt, you can do that, and I think that campaign ends in like 2 days. It ends really quickly, so you really want to get one now. We do have designs in the works, like newer ones.
Yeah,
too many of them. So last week, I expressed my experiences in New Orleans and at Hexfest, so you can check that video if you want. This week we are going to be talking about magic. And we had planned on speaking about traditional witchcraft, but Nimbus got a surprise, amazing trip to the beach with him and his wife and his puppy. So we are going to start that topic next week when he's able to have that conversation with us. And that's all I got.
That's all you got? That's your intro?
Yes.
That was pretty lengthy. I mean, whew.
I told you.
Okay, and so I do have the questions tab open, so if you want to ask a question, we are taking this time to talk about witchcraft, which everyone should know. But I've noticed a lot lately, like a lot of people just not getting shit. A lot of people, and it's really, I don't know, it's kind of weird because even people who have been practicing or say they have been practicing for a long time, they're just still they're still not getting it. They ask like really basic questions, stuff that they should already know, which is fine, but it just kind of, it weirds me out a little when people ask questions that I feel if you've been on this path long enough, you would already know. If you're asking for different ways to, craft a situation, that's different, but when you're asking like very simple and basic stuff, I don't know. So I felt like this little break was good for this show to come now, because we do need to talk about witchcraft. We need to talk about the basics and, basically the common sense witchery that we all should be doing. It's important, and it's important for people to feel inspired, so they keep doing what they're doing. There are so many people who stagnate and they just kind of get comfortable with like a daily practice or not doing something. They think that just coming to like your Facebook group or opening up a book, they think that just reading a few pages or just saying, hey, the sun's up, blah blah blah, devotion, and they don't really feel it. They just go through the motions, and that's boring. That's not witchcraft. That's just being lazy. And so having this chat tonight with all of y'all, and I do encourage you to be active and talk to us and ask questions here, because this show really is about you and all of you. Whatever you want to ask, we can talk about in the witchy sense. But yeah, we need to talk, so let's talk. About witchcraft? I have a lot of, like, we just had a question in the group that asked basically how there are times when people and witches go through a period where they're not as active and they get bogged down with whatever, normal everyday life, or just work and stress and all that shit. And then they start to take away from their craft practice. They start to not meditate as much, or they start to get out of alignment with who they really are, so they start to just really focus on going to work, paying the bills, being stressed out about whatever, whatever just came up. And so the question basically was, how do you get back to integrating into your actual practice, and how how do you maintain your craft? How do you make sure that that doesn't happen again, or how do you come out of that faster the next time around? So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
All right.
I think the first thing is when you ever get into a funk, first thing you try to do is to prevent it. So once you notice you start to slip a little bit, try to do things that are in your time frame and your ability to stick with, as far as meditation and cleansing are very simple. You can do them in the shower. You can, especially cleansing, you can do them. Meditation can take 5 minutes. Um, when you do like completely slip and fall under and you realize it, I think it's very important not to beat yourself up over it.
Mm.
And just pick yourself up and then do whatever it is that you need to do. I know it's very non-specific, but that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. I don't. I guess I can speak from like personal experience lately. Is I have been bogged down by a lot of different situations that kind of just threw themselves at me all at once. Uh, Different relationship issues, different like work relationships, personal relationships, stuff like that. Trying to maintain everything that I do or try to do, um, reading the pages, trying to make sure that there's good content, which lately have not been able to really give my all to. Um, and I noticed myself like just stop. Like I stopped. I haven't read cards in a long time. I haven't done anything. And we do get that way, but I've never once uh, thought that I wasn't doing something because I still do. Like I still do meditate, not as often, but I still meditate and I still like develop myself in a psychic manner. I still do trance. I still do a lot of different things. But I notice that when I do find myself slipping or when I find myself not being a part of my practice or engaging like I normally do, my head feels weird, like I get in this fog, and I don't want to be around anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone, and I break out. It's gross. But I do. My body will tell me when I'm fucking up, when I'm not living who I am, because when you're witches, it's who we are. It's not something that you do part time. It's not something that you're, it's not a hobby. It's just out of alignment with who you are. Sounds so new agey, huh? Yeah. So when you're out of alignment with who you are, and that's for us witches, the spirits tell you, your body tells you, it manifests physically in your body. And so I feel like when you do notice something like within your body or just within your mind, something's going on, if you focus on it enough, you will be able to tell that something needs to be done. And normally, what I do is I will do a cleansing. I will kind of meditate and I will just spend at least an hour with myself and just kind of travel back through my mind and travel back and see kind of all the stuff that's been going on, and I will release it. Like I will breathe all that like difficulty in. I will take it in me, and then in like a very strong breath, I'll just let it go. And I'm like, this has no power over me. This may still currently be my situation. This might still be something I'm going through, but the harshness of it, the way that it is holding me back, that I'm allowing it to hold me back, it's not going to have any more strength over me than it did. And so what I'll do is that I'll let it flow through my body, and I kind of channeled something like this a few days ago, I think, but I will let it course through my body. I always allow these things to kind of flow through me and out, and I will release it. I'll let it go, and then that makes me feel better. That kind of brings clarity in, and then once that is done, I will be able to listen to the messages the spirits that give me, or the messages that spirit gives me, and usually they will tell me like a course of action, like what needs to be done next. That was a long little ramble, sorry. But that's kind of like that's one of the ways that I kind of tackle that situation.
I mean, I think that we all go in cycles. I mean, you have your regular bullshit that goes on in your everyday life and your job, and you have the stress with whatever your stresses are. And I think we go in cycles where we actually let it get to us and then we overcome it. So that's why I think it's important to pull yourself out of it, and but not beat yourself up over it. Because
Right.
shit happens and you have to deal with it. And yeah, we all get into funks. And I think it's this time of year too. You know, the summer is starting to wind down, school is starting for everybody, so things become a lot more different, especially if you have kids and you got to help them, and it just, things happen.
Mm-hmm. Um, I was gonna say something. I don't remember. I didn't remember what I was going to say. So yes. And also we have to like. I feel like it's a mind fuck too. Like you have to kind of remember that remember who you are. Remember that you are a witch, and like everything that you do is an extension of that. Everything that you do is magical. You interact with people. People have energy. They are a source of energy. They have spirits. They have all these things that come to them. So when you're talking to the dumbass boss, or when you're talking to your spouse that you really want to beat over the head with a bat, or a nerf, nerf, whatever. I'm not going to judge, but when you want to, like, when you're going through something in your life and you're frustrated, you have to kind of take a step back and realize that you are still a witch, and this is still a magical situation because all of it is energy. All of these different, influences are interacting and creating this. So as witches, we have that power to take different threads of energy and align them a certain way so we produce results that are in our benefit. So I try to always see like opportunity anywhere. And that kind of helps me to keep, even when I do get in a slight funk, that helps me to keep that mindset that I'm still capable of getting out of this. I'm still capable of doing something about it. Scarlett, when you experience like a little like something like that, is there anything that you do specifically to kind of crawl out? Is there anything that you try to change to kind of bring out a different feeling?
I usually just take crystal baths with sea salt and let that just, I guess, cleanse over me. But if I wanted to get really technical and tell you exactly like my step-by-step process of getting myself out of a funk, I make black salt first. And I take a shower and I scrub that everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stand in the shower, I stand under the water, and I let that wash over me. And I imagine all the gunk and negative bullshit and whatever just wash over me and go down the drain. And then I get out of the shower and I fill up the bathtub, and I fill that up with sea salt, and then I'll add, well, I guess the stones really depend, but my go-to ones, if another stone doesn't come to mind, is rose quartz and clear quartz, and even like either a smoky quartz or like black tourmaline, just to get rid of any leftover gunk and take that out as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take the rose quartz or the clear quartz, and I use that to like run over my body and my head, and I go over each chakra, and that usually does the trick. And when I let the water out of the bathtub, I stay in there until the water is all gone, just to make sure everything is gone and down the drain and no longer with me.
Nice. I've been noticing that lately. I like to use dead sea salt because it's a little more like moist. That's a gross word. I hate that word, but I'm gonna use it.
Well,
So
it's funny because with salt, it's hard or whatever. I think the Dead Sea salt seems softer.
it is like
regular sea salt or any other kind of salt.
I like it. I mix it like I'll make a scrub. I'll use the dead sea salt, and I use like I'll add table salt. I'll add like regular sea salt, and then I'll use pink salt because it's all kinds of salt up in there. And then I'll take black tourmaline powder, and I'll mix it like so. You like my sound effects, like that. And I do it, when I mix them, I'm like, magical, right? So I'll do that, and then I'll get essential oils, and I kind of add that to it, depending on what I need to really scrub out and clean. I'll do that. What I did recently for a product that I'm creating is my molcajete. Can you see that? It was like so professional. Anyways, you have to put like to really season it. You put rice, and then you like grind it to make sure that you clear out all that shit. And so I take that powder and I use that because that to me is very, very protective, and I like the rice and the combination of the rice with the product. So I'll add that to it too. I did that just recently, and that's very protective, and that helps to kind of scrub off and get rid of a lot of gunk. And it also helps kind of raise the vibration as you do it. I think that what a lot of people forget, a lot of witches forget, is that this is magic. This is your craft. So when you're doing it, you're not just fucking scrubbing the shit out of your body, You're not just like, oh my god, I'm turning fucking red. It's working. You still have to you have to scrub, but you're like not just physically scrubbing, you're like spiritually scrubbing, emotionally. You are still activating that power. You're still activating that energetic influence. So when you're doing all that you're supposed to be doing, you're tapping into not just the physical, but the in-between space and everything. So that's what makes it magic. That's what makes it more intense. And a lot of people who say they've cleansed but they're still feeling shitty, they're not doing it the right way. Sometimes they just need something more powerful, more potent. But most of the times you're not doing it the right way because you're just putting some shit on and you're scrubbing and you're washing.
Because they use sage. But we already covered that like a year ago.
Yes. but yeah, it's like even when smudging like with sage, most people just think that it's going to do the job for them. They're not. You have to activate. You're engaging. Like as a witch, when you're casting, it's not just going through the motions. You are like speaking from your soul to the work that you're doing. So you are engaging with the work. It's not just surface. It's not just surface.
There's different levels of cleansing too, and that goes with your personal and with your home. Because like you can kind of like if I'm feeling just a little bit of a funk, or I just feel like I need to do a little bit of a cleanse, I have Florida water soap in my bath in my shower, and I'll just clean with the Florida water soap. That's to me that's like a very light cleanse. If I want to get super deep into it, I'll make a scrub with oil and the sea salts and with essential oils and herbs and everything else. Like that's kind of a more involved. I like doing the bath too, and I do the same thing. I will sit in the bath and I will, as it's draining, and I will feel, it feels like the water is physically pulling on your body, and it physically is pulling everything out of you, which is why I sit in the bath as it's draining out.
And you can say simple things as your water's draining. I mean, do your thing when you're scrubbing yourself or soaking in the salt bath, whatever. But as the water's draining, you can say the most simplest shit ever.
Yeah.
And like I've taught my kids, because they take these types of baths and do these types of cleansings, and so I taught my kids the most easiest freaking phrase to say. And I can't remember where I read it from, but it was years ago. And it's get out of my life. And that is for anything, whether it's a person or a habit or an illness or whatever. It's whatever negativity that they're trying to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And as the water is draining, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be profound and be in rhyming and 5 paragraphs long and
Oh.
everything else. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like, that's very effective.
And we all know, like, if you've started reading, I mean, it's in the works to be put back on shelf, but if you read the book, you know how we love to use, like, references from movies and TV shows and shit. Recently, I've been watching The Secret Circle again, and
Oh,
there's I know, and their shit it don't rhyme. It's just like they do a little chant, and it's like for what they want, but it doesn't rhyme. And so it's like your shit don't have to rhyme. Just make it happen. But what I was gonna say, yeah.
I seriously feel silly when I rhyme.
I feel like I don't even know. I don't feel right when I rhyme. I feel like I should have like some fairy dust, and I don't.
I have a hard time reading from that, and then I'll start saying my own stuff anyway. Like, I'll start reading if it's written down, unless I've written it specifically myself. If it's something out of a book or something, I'll start to read it, and then I'll just start saying whatever it is that I feel like saying.
Um, Yeah, like I always like when I craft, like I speak from like anyone who's read the shit I post, like you read my freaking poetry or whatever that shit is. You know that I don't rhyme often, and when I do, it's like wow, look at me. I kind of feel proud of myself because I don't try. It just happens. But I speak from a deep place, and most of the time that deep place is like fuck you, we're not rhyming today or ever. Um, but what I wanted to say as well is, and I've talked about this, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but back in the day, I think I was still in beauty school. We took the day, yeah, we got the day off because we wanted to go to a pagan festival, and they're like, was this religious? I'm like, shit, this is pagan, I'm a pagan, we're going, you're giving it to us off. And we got it off, but we went to this pagan festival, and one of the speakers, she was like, when you feel like every day you give yourself away to people, you give your energy, you give your time, and people take and take and take, and they are constantly taking, and it doesn't leave you, because you have all these situations, these places, you leave like pieces of yourself everywhere, and so in order for you to claim yourself again, to really, when you feel the need, you just like you stand tall and you say, I command and I demand that all my power, all my energy return to me now. And then you like stomp or you do you look like forceful and you call it back and it returns to you, because if you don't say something with like especially something like this, if you don't say it in a very commanding and a very forceful way, energy's gonna be like, you're just a pussy. Like I'm not gonna give you your shit back. It's working for me. Why would I return it to you? You're just like a little not gonna work. But if you like demand it, like give it to me. This is my shit. I own it. It's mine. I'm taking it back.
And I think this is the same as if you're trying to get rid of somebody else's funk that's clinging onto you. Is you need to be very demanding. To get the fuck off of me.
Yeah.
You're not mine. Get out of my space. I don't need you. Go away.
And a very like that just came to me. A very devious way to handle other people's bullshit on you, because people will try and place their shit on you. Um, you don't have to. Some people do mirror spells, and that's perfect. They work wonderful, and they're great. But if you kind of want to take it up a notch, or kind of alter it with E, alter. So if you want to do that, you can take the influence that someone has placed on you, and you can utilize it. Like you can take it instead of like sending it back to them, you can put it in like a poppet. Especially if you want to take care, if you want for like future reference, if you want to tap into their energy, you can put that essence into a poppet, and that's attached to them, and they freely gave that to you. You see, so that opens a doorway. So you can when someone puts something on you, even if it's just like their emotional damage, their bullshit, they place it on you. You can take that and put it into something. I prefer poppets. You can put it into a poppet, and then that's an extension of them, and it makes it more powerful because they gave you permission. They gave it to you because they basically oh, what the fuck was the word I was going to use? It's not, they gave it to you, you know, they opened that doorway, and it was free. It was something that was on their end. They said it was okay, so that makes things far more potent, because in the future, if you need to go back to that path, you have it. It's not on you anymore. It's in this pocket that's created for them, and you can do whatever you need to do.
So they open the door, you're just keeping it open.
Yeah.
You're just keeping that little
And
crack in the door.
right, and it doesn't have to be like a negative thing. You know, if someone dumps shit on you, instead of sending it back to them, you could place it, like I said, into something and save it for later, because we all know that I like to collect shit. You can save it for later, and it could be for healing. Like if someone gets hurt, this really is someone that you care for. You could use it for healing. If it's not someone you care for, something turns sour, you could use it for taking care of things, protection, malediction. There's a hammer, there's some nails, boom, boom. You know, you can do all sorts of things, but in my eyes and for me, it's far more powerful when someone freely hands you basically, they freely hand you their power. They don't know they did, but they did. And if you know how to take care of it, if you know how to remove it and place it into something else, that's even more, like, that's awesome. Watch out.
You're so proud of yourself when you come up with these things.
It's so fun. And that's another thing, like, as witches, like, we have to be crafty. Like, I don't feel like many people are crafty anymore. There's so many, you know, there's so many different books, which books are amazing, but I feel like people rely on them too much, and they don't create for themselves. Like the book that we put out, it's like we try to show people that to get creative, to start using different things, because it's our craft. And while back in the day, witches created from whatever they had, you know, they would go outside, get some weeds, they would do whatever they had to create something. And that's the same for us today, but so many want to kind of stay in the past, which is, you know, the past is necessary. We need to take from that, but we also have so many more interesting things to utilize in our craft today. I don't know.
Well, I think the simplicity in a lot of things is why I'm drawn to like more southern conjure work, is because you use what is available to you. And
Right.
you don't have to really, it's kind of that, you know, deviant ninja craft where you're using whatever's there. You know, you're scooping up somebody's footprint, or you gotta do what you gotta do to get it done. You have to utilize what is in front of you.
Mm-hmm. You know, and so I think the more that we all work like on our mindset about who we are, because so many people forget to integrate the witch. The witch is who we are, but so many people kind of like separate it. You know, this is me at work. This is me, you know, this is me in the bedroom. This is me in the living room. This is me in the kitchen. You know, they're not separate. Like when you integrate the witch with who you are, especially in the bedroom, shit, it's about to get crazy. Watch out.
I think another reason why people get bogged down with stuff and they feel like they're blocked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, I think most of those people try to separate being a witch and like their job at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, you can have a job at the bank, but if you're a witch even working at the bank. You're a witch when you go to the grocery store. You're a witch when you go to your kids' PTA meetings. You're still a witch. Yeah. And I think what the problem is with people thinking that they're being blocked or they're getting drained or they're getting bogged down is because they're trying to keep it separate instead of joining it together to be one.
Oh.
They don't know
They
don't know how. Or, you know, it doesn't matter if you are a witch out in the open, or you are, you don't announce it to people. But the fact is, if you're a witch, you're still a witch, no matter what you're doing or where you're at. You can't separate it, because a witch it's not a hobby. It's not something that you pick up and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try this out, or I'm going to do this. It's who you are. It's not a fucking hobby. You're not crocheting, you're not sewing, you're not picking up dolls or anything like that. It's who you are. It's you. And you can't separate it.
No.
I think that's the problem, is they're trying to separate it. And I guess when I see posts in the group or even on public pages when they say, well, I just don't have time to be a witch, or I don't have time to do magic, or I don't have time to do this, you know what, then get the fuck out. Seriously. Because it's not something that's separate. It's who you are. It's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a part of who you are. It's not a goddamn hobby. And if you can't bring it together and keep it together, then this is obviously not for you.
That's like, it bothers me when people say there's like a 5-day window for like the full moon workings and any kind of moon phase. There's no fucking 5-day window, okay? You can't try to dictate the moon to do what you want it to do on your timeline. The moon and whatever the days of the week, whatever it is that you work with, keeps on going and keeps on going. And part of doing witchcraft is also a sacrifice, I feel, in your time, in your supplies, in your energy to get done what you need to get done. There's no 5-day window for full moon work. Either you do it when you do it. I like to do it the night before or the night of. Like if the full moon is in the morning or in the afternoon, I like to do it the night before, is how I do it. But there's these huge windows and this and that and whatever. Oh, you can manipulate things, like using, because we go into that in the book too, is using the days for different ways of working with your situation. Right. But there are some things where you just need to step up and you need to do it when you need to get it done.
Right. What's funny, I'm going to share something semi-personal that's, I don't know. When you try to, not necessarily, if you try to separate, or if you are part of a group, or if you're even, solitaries that kind of, do circle once in a while with other people, when you have people in that circle, or even just friends, like if you really like cycle, we're going to use that word, cycle with other witches, like very intensely and intuitively, you have that connection, and if you try to kind of hold your energy back because you're scared or you're worried that your full energy might have a negative impact, that also puts you in a different space. That also like hinders you a little. That's kind of the same thing. So if you don't fully express who you are as a practitioner in any aspect, you do get that way. You need to kind of just let go and let what needs to be. So when you're at work, you're doing the bank thing, no one knows you're a witch, that's fine, but you need to stop like hiding it from yourself. You don't have to tell anyone, but you need to be honest with yourself, and I am fucking talking with my hands. You need to be honest with yourself and use that to your advantage, because if you're trying to get people to sign up, you get like a promotion, you could be using your power, using your craft to influence people, to like help them out, because you want to help them out. So you could be using all this to your advantage, and so many people don't. They're scared, and it's like, no. Embrace who you are. Allow it to flow through you. Allow it to flow from the earth into you and out of you into the heavens, whatever, wherever it goes. Because once you are able to channel that, fully embody that, it will return to you. It starts building you up. And you build more confidence in yourself, and you find this acceptance of being who you are, this acceptance of being that witch. And again, you don't have to tell anyone, but you need to be honest with yourself.
I think that is what the difference between the witch with a big W and a little w is. The thing that separates the two is fear and guilt. If you have fear and if you have guilt, then that makes you a little w. And if you don't, and if you own your shit, it makes you a big W. That's just my feelings on that one. And there is a difference. And you see it. I've been seeing it a lot more lately. I stopped ignoring it, actually. I used to ignore it, but now I'm actually noticing it, and it kind of helps me to realize where I need to remove myself.
Yeah.
Like with the whole bank thing, or wherever the hell you work, and like what Michael had just got done saying. I guess another, when people say, just life happened or life got in the way. That's why I'm not practicing. That's why I'm not casting or anything. What the fuck do you mean life got in the way? Because what is witchcraft to you then if you're saying life got in the way and you're separating the two? Isn't being a witch a part of your life? But separating it like that, saying life got in the way, that's just showing me that, or telling me that you think witchcraft or anything magical is just a fucking fairy tale to you. And that it's fake. Because you can't integrate it with who you are. And like Michael said, you don't have to announce to other people that you're a witch. You can keep it to yourself, but denying it to yourself ain't gonna do you any favors.
Right. And so many people struggle. And I really enjoyed, like, if you're in the group, Toby said, I really loved his expression on suffering, and it resonated with me, and I absolutely, I agree with it. So sometimes certain challenges are necessary for us, but more often than not, it's the witch who's not doing anything to get out of their challenge. They have all these hardships, these money problems, or love issues, or whatever. They got a stalker. Did you cast to neutralize it? Did you cast to get a better situation? No. I don't want to interfere. Interfere with what? You're struggling, you're hurting, you're in pain. Take care of that. That's what it's there for. That's why we are who we are.
Yeah, and the mundane needs to back up the magical too, especially with the case of the stalker. You gotta file that police report, but you also have to back it up with the magical. That's one of those things where you really need to do both of them.
It just pisses me off a lot when supposed witches don't actually witch for anything. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Making fucking cookies? They probably freaking hard as a rock. Fucking use them as a fucking weapon.
You can witch when you make cookies too. I mean, there's so much, like you talk about a little bit about, in your kitchen. Yeah, putting using the herbs and cookies, using the sugar to sweeten up your home life, and you bring them to work. Make your I want to get I'm about to get a big ass sugar bowl and fill it up with brown sugar and just stick everybody I know in it. Everybody that's giving me attitude, I'm like gonna write their name on a popsicle stick and just stick it in the fucking bowl.
Aww, that's so sweet.
I'm just like,
oh my god, you can do so much magical cooking and baking. I put sigils in my pie crust.
Oh. You want some?
And give that to the person that it's meant for. Here's a pie. Have a nice day. Yeah.
I like that.
Shit.
That's crafty.
Cookies? Are you serious? Come on.
This is like.
Easy, and then you get to sit back and smile and watch them eat the shit you bake.
Would you like some whipped cream and cherries? Oh my, I love that. And this is fun, I don't know, it's just fun, and it's who we are. Another thing that I want to talk about is love working and love spells. My Shut up.
I'm not in the mood for this conversation.
We're going to talk about it because my friend said something to me in regards to working that I did recently, and it wasn't... I can talk about it because it already happened, like, super fast. So I recently did a love spell, but it wasn't like directed at anyone in particular, and it really wasn't like a love spell where I said I want someone. It wasn't like that. It was more out of frustration. I was like, you know what? I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of being fucked over. I'm tired of dumbass people. I'm really just tired, spirits. You're on my last fucking nerve, so we're gonna throw some witchcraft together, and I'm gonna get some fucking answers. And so I did what I did, and I posted a picture on my profile. I think what I do, I used cassia. I had like a pink candle, an orange candle. Oh shit, a yellow candle? I had 3 candles. I can't remember. I know it was pink, orange, and possibly red. Yes, and then I cannot pronounce that crystal, but I'm not going to say it. Had some garnet. Had my black candle. I had a feather. I got a lot of juju going on. Ooh, and fire agate is really good in this type of work. Anyways, and as I was preparing the working, I kid you not, like, my music player turned on to a really good version of I Put a Spell on You. Like, it just popped on. I'm like, oh, you freaked me out. That's funny. And then in the garage, at the same time, the radio in the garage turned itself on, full blast. Right as I was about to do what I was about to do. Oh, and I had this right here. Can you see it? You like it? You can't feel it, but it's like textured too.
I have 2 of them in my cabinet.
And what I didn't rhyme. I was listening to what was like flowing through me. I was listening and I was doing what I needed to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I need answers, and I got a few visions, and it was interesting. And I basically said, I'm done. I'm done living this way, and you're gonna give me whatever I need. Like, feel my heart, feel my spirit, what you feel that I need right now, or what I can be for someone. And I'm not saying like in like a romantic relationship per se. I'm not opposed to it, but even as friendship, whatever that is needed of me, or whatever that needs to come to me, send that my way, or send me someone's way. Make it happen. And then it like works like really fast. I'm not even joking. That was weird. But I expected, like I already knew. Like when I did it, I got visions, I got confirmation, and it's still working. Like I've had, and again, I don't want people to think that it's like making certain people like influencing them on that level, but I've had like friendships, like I've had people who needed something that I had to offer, and not like just came to me to take something from me, but they actually needed like my compassion. I've had people come to me out of the blue who really needed me to share with them, or they just need someone to listen to them. And it's been interesting because that's happened to me like at work too. Like people just they just come and they share, and I'm like, okay, I can listen. And I love that because it reminds me of the working that I did. And I'm like, this is me being of service, and this is me helping someone, but in return, I'm helping myself. And I kind of just like going on one, so sorry if I'm...
Yeah, that was like that channeling that you did this week. You're like, this might just be for me, and I'm like, no, it sounds like it's for me too. Out of nowhere.
But it's when you decide... I don't even know the point of that because I want to talk about love spells or in love working. Oh, I was going to share my friend what she said to me. But it really is when you finally decide what you need for yourself and you do something about it. And then when you step out of your own way and you start to step into the work, that it just gets powerful. It's beautiful. It's strong, and you feel good because you're living it. You're living your craft. You're living what needs to be done right now. Um, I don't even know how to express that, but my friend, which is kind of, what did she say? Oh, she was like, I was thinking last night, why are people all weird and scared of love spells? Isn't love the most powerful thing in the universe, anyways? And I responded, that's why people are scared of them, because love is powerful. People fear power, which is fear power. That is a part of why people are scared of them, because when you step into love, and that doesn't mean like romantic love. I mean, it could be the way I love y'all. It could be the way I love my nieces. When you step into that energy, you become so much more. And this is for, and I'm talking so fucking much, but this is for you two as parents, the love that you have for your children. You would do anything to protect them. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Even get a mullet. Oh.
No. There's no point to that.
But that feeling, you would do whatever you had to protect your own. And that's what I mean when it's powerful, because when you step into that love frequency and that energy, there's nothing that will stop you. There's nothing that will get in your way. And so that is why a lot of practitioners fear it, because when they get a taste of it, they get scared because it is so much.
The thing with love is that when you truly love somebody, you're accepting them for everything that they are and the things that they are not. And it's also making them vulnerable and you vulnerable, and people don't like being vulnerable either. So I think that is a big part of it.
That was that's funny that you say that, because that was that's a message for me. I don't
it's true. Is when you truly love somebody, you have to accept every bit and piece of them, and they have to accept every bit and piece of yourself. And I really do think that it makes you examine yourself when you start to form a kind of relationship. And then also, even in a friendship, I had posted, was it last week? I said, only your true friends can, basically tell you about yourself, and you can't even get mad about it because you know that it's true, and you know that it's coming from a good place, and you know that it's actually to help you. And that's making yourself vulnerable too. True friendships, deep friendships, are about also being vulnerable, and people don't like that. So that's why people stay away from love. They'd rather just stay in their own little bubble and deal with their own bullshit, or cause drama, or be in drama, because it's easier to deal with drama than it is to deal with themselves.
And worry about other people's love lives.
Yeah. Yeah. And love working is so much fun. It's so interesting, but it's also very liberating and very healing. And this kind of goes with heart healing as well. When you go through different situations, if you're in a relationship and there's a very, very, very hard lesson there, you can go either way. You can go where you'll learn from this. Sorry. You can go either way. You could either choose to see. I get distracted really easy, like squirrel. Okay, you could go either way. You could choose to shut yourself off and be like, fuck this experience, fuck you, fuck everyone. I hate feeling, I hate love, I hate people, I was hurt, I am not going to deal with this again, I am going to become a bastard even more than previously before, I'm going to be rude, I'm going to be, all these things, because I don't want to feel. My heart hurts, I don't want to feel shit. Or you could be at a place where you're like, I hurt. I don't know how to deal with this, but I will process this. I'm not going to deny myself this experience because I trust. I'm a witch. Like, I trust the influence. I trust the energy. I I trust everything that I went through. And I know that there is a lesson here. I know, and I usually hate when people say everything's a lesson, but in this, that's what I'm going to use. I trust that this experience with this person that came into my life that really fucked me up, that really hurt me, there was a reason for it, and I learned from it. And I will take something from it. And you can take that, and you can learn, and you can be blessed by it. Whatever the other person does, that's on them. Who the fuck cares? They're not in the picture anymore. It's what you choose to do with it. It's what you choose to be inspired by. So you can take all that pain, all of that frustration, all of that like betrayal. You can take all of that and you can be like, I'm gonna use this to my advantage. I did not deserve that. I experienced that, but I didn't deserve it. But I will own it because it was an experience that I had to go through, that I chose to go through. I'm the one in power here. And so you can take that, you don't have to like relive everything, but you can take that experience and let it change you for the better. You learn from it. You're like, okay, that was something that I experienced that allowed me. Okay, so without getting too detailed here, let's put me personally in the situation. That allowed me to realize that I'm ready to be loved. That allowed me to realize that I am ready to find someone. That allowed me to realize that I'm worthy of that, of love, of experience that, of sharing that more with people. That allowed me to realize that I don't have to be an asshole all the time. You know? So taking something like really harsh, you can use it to your benefit. And that allowed me to say, fuck this universe, fuck this spirits. Let's take this into my control, into my hands, because I am a witch and I am powerful, and I will get something better. I will do something better. I deserve better. And that's how you heal. You learn from it, you make it yours. You don't, and that's what I don't like. Like, I see a lot of people go through, people cheating on them, people leaving them, people like belittling them, relationships, whatever. And they don't take the power back. They just get hurt, which is fine. But you have to always realize that in whatever situation and in your heart, you are the one in power. You are the one in charge. And so you can learn from all of those things. And when you're ready, you can be like, I own this. This is my feeling. This is my pain. What you did, what you experienced, whatever. You're not controlling me. I'm taking what you gave me, and I'm going to make something far superior. I'm going to open a different door.
There you go.
Cheesy. But
There you go.
Anyways, that's my long freaking preacher dude rant. But does that make sense? Like, did I just like go off and...
No, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
See, I'm like the opposite though. When I get emotional, instead of trying to shut it off, I get so bogged into it that it overtakes me and it overcomes me, and that's all I can feel. So I need, for me personally, is to tone shit down and to try to take back my power and take back my confidence and everything else to pull myself back up. So instead of me not feeling enough, I feel too much. And so that's like the complete opposite. And we know that. You and I know that.
We do. But the interesting thing as well is when you are the type of individual who feels too much, you can, again, it's kind of the same concept where you can let that flow through you. Like, all those feelings, don't let them become you. Let them flow through you. and out of you. Let them, just be a fluid like that. Let them be a fluid conduit. Woo! No, let them kind of just flow through you. It's the moment that you start focusing on every single emotion, especially when it comes to the heart. That you start bringing memories. You start, bringing all these different things to you. But if you could sort of let it just flow, like when we do meditation, we tell people not to focus on whatever's coming, let it flow through it, and just, keep doing that. If you could see that the same way, allow the emotions to flow through you, let it go, just let it process. It becomes a little less daunting. It's not as heavy because it's not staying in the body.
Right, and then some people bottle stuff up, and some people just try not to feel them at all, and then you let it go, but it keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back, and that's why some people it takes them a long time to get through certain things, is they don't actually get through it. And I just went through this recently, which is, I guess, why we're talking about it too. You think you let something go months ago, and then all of a sudden it starts bombarding you, and it's everywhere, and you can't stop thinking about it, and you can't stop it, you can't stop, because you never actually dealt with it in the first place. So.
Oh. This is dirty as fuck. Shit, I need to dust my crystals. Don't look at that.
That's like out of nowhere.
I use this. And of course, we know my favorite, Black Obsidian. Right there. I use it because I am comfortable with feeling a little harsh. So I use this to pull out what needs to be gone. And when you go through certain relationship experiences, I like to use Black Obsidian to pull those things from me. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll get like a bowl of water. I'll pull it out of me and I'll place it in the water. I'll pull it out of me and I'll place it in the water. And then what I'll do with the water is I will take it and I will put sugar in it and I will sweeten the water. And I will say something about, sweetening my feelings, sweetening my, position on certain things, helping my heart to not be as guarded and as protected and as shut off from the world as it was. Like, I will make sure that I don't become the person that I used to be. So I will put that in the water and I will sweeten it and I will be like, let this be me. Let me feel good again. Let me feel sweet to this situation. Don't let me forget. Don't take my power away. Don't blind me. But let me feel better, because when I feel better, everyone around me feels better, and I step into my own power, because no one likes to feel like shit all the time. No. So I'll do that, and then I'll take that, depending on what I want to do with it, I'll take that water and dispose of it properly. So, Miss Scarlet, what are your feelings on love spells?
I'm not against them. I mean, I've helped clients with love spells and stuff like that, but I refuse and do not agree with when people ask me to make somebody love them. I will not do that. I will have no part in that. I mean, if it's like a couple, a husband and wife, or just partners in general, whether they're married or not, and they want to make their relationship work, or they want to ignite the passion within their relationship, I'm all for that. Yeah, I'm all for, I guess I look at it as like a witch's form of marriage counseling.
Yeah.
in a way, and I guess, I'm for that. I'll do that, but I cringe when people ask me to make them fall in love with someone, especially when they haven't met their love interest, or their love interest has no idea who the hell they are. So then
Right.
all I can think of is like this creeper stalker person trying to get this woman or this young girl to fall in love with them, and I will not have no part in that. I mean, if that's what you want, you do that shit on your own, because I will not be involved with that.
I think it's funny because I've been asked to do that, and then I'm like, no. Well, you must not be a witch because you can't do it. I'm like, oh, honey, I did not say that I can't do it. I did not say one bit that I can't do it, because I can. I know that I can, but I'm not going to do it for you. But I'll pay. I don't care what the fuck you're going to pay me. You're not going to pay me shit because I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm like, okay, and this is like, we're going to go into the craft, the movie, because I like my movie references. Let's say you do that love spell. Let's say the person's a douche. Let's say they try and hurt you in whatever way. Even if it's emotionally hurt, that's so fucked up, Then I won't take responsibility for that because that's on you. You wanted that done, but I am not going to put someone in that position knowing that that's a possibility. And I just don't like that. Like, I will dominate and I will control and I will do things for people, but when it comes to love, I won't. I will not.
My feeling on love spells is you cannot make somebody love you, but you can make zombies and you can make stalkers. And you can make people obsessed with you. I've heard some people say, oh yeah, you can create love. I personally don't feel that you can create love. Love is very complicated, as we discussed a little bit earlier. I don't think you can create it, and I also don't agree with it with being a specific person. I had somebody come to me that wanted some help with a specific individual, and now I knew previous information about it, just chit chat, and then they came to me like as more of a customer, and I was like, I can't do this. I knew in my head, I'm like, I can't do this. I can help you try to find somebody who's meant for you, but like my personal ethics as a human being, I was like, I don't think this person is meant for you. So I knew that my ethics as a witch, I was not going to be able to do the spell work, and the tarot cards proved it. So I was like, all right. So I do think your personal ethics comes into play with a lot of those things too. But yeah, I've done stuff like that. I've had there's a guy I was dating several years ago. I was seeing him and he kind of disappeared for a couple days, and I did some candle work, and then he called me, and then he disappeared again. So you can get them to come back, but that doesn't mean they're going to stay there either.
Right.
And that was for the better. But you can't, and then to actually make somebody stay with you, you'd be working on them for the rest of your life.
I am actually really excited.
Constantly having your hand up the puppet's ass.
Yeah.
That's no way to live. I've helped people attract love to them. Like, they would take the qualities of the type of person they wanted. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But to make somebody love you, no, I'm sorry. That's, no.
Right. I'm excited because I have a client who messaged me, and I love making love items. Like, I love making like lust dust and like sexual healing and things that are very lusty and seductive, and I love that because I feel that's one of our gifts or skills as a witch. Like, that's something that we should know how to do because it's so fun. But I get to make all these different products that are going to be very, sexual in nature and liberating. And it's just, when you work with those spirits, when you work, you are creating something like that to bring two people, or maybe more than two, who knows? I don't judge. As long as you're all doing the good, it's fine. Everyone's consenting. When you are working and you are aiding someone in bringing that energy together, it's a beautiful thing. You know, when you have someone who's been away for a long time, on work or whatever, and you have, you know, the other person at home, and it's like they're going to come together, and the other person might be really tired or whatever. You have something, you know, you use your craft to kind of enhance your surroundings, to enhance you. You do what you do, and you have these powers where you can kind of intensify that connection. And when that, you know, the person that you love or the person that you're with at the time, when they see you, it's like the spark, and they're not tired anymore, honey. Let's just say that. You know, they have fun, and I don't know. I like working. I love making things that aid in that nature.
I like using more of, I'll call them more of the lust items for fun. And probably not in the way that you're thinking. I will use some things like that just for a little bit of extra attention or flirtation. You can take it a step farther and go hook up with somebody if you want to. I personally don't do that. But again, I don't judge. If you do want to do that, that's up to you. But yeah, if I'm in some kind of mood, I'll pull out some different things in different products just to get a little bit of flirtation, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a boost too.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play, but to me, I don't feel like that is manipulative, because I think if it's a flirtation, they probably would have flirted with you anyway. You're just kind of opening that door a little bit further.
Right. Which is which. So we have all that love stuff. You know, fire agate is really good for like raw sex. Like, it's really good for fertility too. If you want to get knocked up, fire agate is perfect. And this right here,
Carnelian is awesome for sex too.
fire agate with some carnelian. Watch out.
Carnelian is awesome for some sex.
Um,
It's very fiery. It might be over pretty quick, but it'll get you going.
So you need something that's going to kind of cool it down too. So you want to like marry carnelian with maybe some aquamarine, but not a lot of aquamarine, just enough to kind of slow the process. Unless you want a quickie, it's just fine. It's all.
Always talking about potions. I'm over here mixing up fucking tinctures and potions. Here, babe, drink this shit. Maybe I should just try the state bills. It's a little more slow. Again.
But wow. Okay. So, you talk about all of that, and of course, no matter what, we're going to be hurt. We're going to go through heartbreak. We're going to go through pain, which comes into the next wonderful segment. When you go through pain, when you go through heartache, when someone really hurts your heart, you don't have to keep that. Like, you can allow that emotion to, let it benefit you at the time, whatever you need it to be, allow it to be that. But you don't have to constantly go through that energy. So you can channel that pain and that suffering. Did you get it? Because I'm like right there in the title, Pain and Suffering. Anyways, you can channel the pain and suffering as power for your workings. So, yeah.
Well, I did working the other night and channeled someone's pain and suffering. I mean, it's not somebody that I love in a romantic manner.
Right.
This person is a close friend of someone I love in my family, and I channeled her pain and her suffering, and I grabbed onto it.
Yeah.
And grabbed onto it as much as I could and pulled out what I could, and I left my love there for her. So she could not feel that, so she would not experience it anymore, and so she could go to sleep and rest and then wake up maybe having a better day. And she actually had a better day yesterday, and she was giggles and laughing and smiling. So I will take on the pain of somebody that I love so they don't have to feel it.
Yes, and I think I do the similar things, and I think that I don't know if it's gonna come out right, but I feel that as witches, that is kind of like our responsibility, at in some respects, because when someone that you know, someone that you love is going through something really, really hard, like the pain is unbearable, they can't breathe, they can't think, they are they're overwhelmed, they are consumed by whatever, their heart, what's being fed to them, they might be in a toxic environment, whatever it is, when they're being consumed with all of this, then we know, like, when you're consumed by such intense and raw emotions and feelings, like, you can't think, and you don't feel like there's a way out. So I feel that it is one of our responsibilities, because we are of service. That's my belief, whatever. But as a witch, we can step into them. We can pull, like you said, pull that thread into us, like pull it, and we can embody it. Like we can place it in us, so we can experience it. But see, the thing is when we place it in us, we are also us. So we have the tools to alter and shift that pain. We have the ability to bring something like that into us and change it. And that is a very, very, very necessary and powerful tool. Um, another another thing is you can do that, and if you can take that pain, and if you are doing a specific working where you need that emotion, you can take that pain and kind of like cut it off where it was originated from, because you don't want to influence that person, but you can cut it off and kind of like repair that tear, that cut, with a feeling or an energy that they need to help heal them and help get them out of that funk, but take the rest of it and place it into the person you're working on, so they are overcome, they are overwhelmed to a certain extent of certain feelings. You can do that, or you can take that energy and kind of neutralize the specific, let's say it's hurt. You can neutralize it where it's not about hurt anymore, it's just about intense energy. And then you can use that energy to do whatever you want. But I do. I think it's like, it's something that we should all know how to do.
Definitely, yes.
Because you don't know when someone is going to need your help. Like, and this is like an extreme case, but for example, let's say someone was on a bridge. They wanted to jump the bridge. You're a witch. You're there. You see that person. If you practice enough, you can take their mind, like the mind fuck, whatever they're going through. You can take that pain, place it into you. You can alter it, change it, and then send it back, or send what they need back. That might help them to step down. And if it doesn't, that in the end, it will help them to find some sort of peace in their mind before they make the choice and the decision that they make.
Well, that's just like the girl that I worked on the other night. I gave her back some of her energy, some of what I took, I should say, and her energy and like the love that I know that she does have for herself, and the self-confidence that she does have. I gave her back that. Because of the situation that she was in and what she was going through at that moment, I refused to give her back what I took that was negative. And I took that and I just took like a piece of notebook paper, and here, I have one. And I kind of like folded it up like this, where I can hold it, almost kind of like a mojo bag in a way.
Uh-huh.
And I took what the negative shit that I took from her and that I kept after I gave her back the positive stuff. I blew it. You know, how you blow like hard, you know, when you're doing that meditation, that deep meditation. I blew it into this, and then I took a rubber band and tied it, and I lit that shit on fire. I no longer wanted it. She no longer needed it. I did not want it going back to her. I lit it on fire.
Great. I
And
like that.
I took the ashes and buried them by my favorite tree. And so it's in the ground. So another way of grounding it is I buried the ashes.
Nice. I like that.
That sounds like it's very, very effective. Fire is a great cleanser.
We like fire. Set shit on fire. She's a little pyro. She is. She likes her fire. And she's a gem, so be careful. No. But I think it's important for people to understand if you're going to start trying to work that way, when you take someone's energy, you need to replace, like, when you change it, you have to kind of combine the energy. So when you replace it, like when you send it back, they need a piece of their energy sent back. So when it adjusts to the body, it's familiar.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you just place your own energy, like your own, in there, sometimes it doesn't take well, and it can reject, and it might be more damaging on the body. So always put like a thread of familiar energy, and then mix it with, you know, what you're altering, and then send it back.
Yeah, it's like your body rejecting an organ.
Yeah. Or piercings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it becomes foreign, so it's like the body rejecting the foreign matter.
Yeah. Like nips. Like nipple piercings. It happens. It's not fun. All that pain and suffering, and they go away. What else? What else? I feel like there's something that I was gonna say that we forgot. Oh, okay. So someone's asking, what would you use snake skin for?
Oh, jeez. A few things. I mean, a snake skin is great for like transformation and just like yourself, like transformation with yourself. Like if you are trying to, I guess, come into like a new phase into your life, the snake skin is wonderful for that. It's also very wise. So to me, I would also use that for like if you're doing any type of like I guess spirit work, whether it's just with familiar spirits or you know your ancestor spirits. It's wise. So I mean, you can use that in a way to like soak up that knowledge from those spirits, and then I mean, you can use it in different types of spells and workings. Like you know how that saying goes, "Oh, that person looks like a snake," or you know, kind of snaky. You can use that to like find out the true nature of that person. Like if that's what they're really doing, if they're trying to trick you with something or whatever. Or you can use it to a puppet of somebody. You can use it to slither and wrap around that person. To grab hold of them. And my thing is snake skin.
Ooh.
I love it.
I know. I love.
All sorts of stuff.
Yes, like you can use it's really, really, really potent in like sex magic. Obviously, that's like what I enjoy talking about apparently. But You could also use it, like, if you need to be sneaky about something, if you need to be tricky, you could use snakeskin to help you with that, because, snakes are very slither, they slither, and, when you call someone a snake, they're not trustworthy, they're very, they like to get in and out of situations, and you just don't trust that person. But usually that person you don't trust, that's like a snake, they're very attractive at the same time. Because if you notice that the people who are called serpents, a lot of people will be somewhat attracted to them, even if they're ugly as fuck. Like,
they're charming.
Yes, charming. Even if they have that, they will have something about them that's very attractive. Their energy. So you could use snakeskin to do that. Like, if you kind of need to attract someone and get your way, but make sure that you get your way and get out of that situation, you could use snakeskin for that. If you need to if you need to seduce someone, or influence someone to make a choice that they might not normally want to make, like if you need someone to sign a contract, something like that, snakeskin is really good. And you could use actually snakeskin in court work when it looks like the odds aren't in your favor. You could actually use snakeskin to help you get out of that situation where you appear like it somehow you're the good one. Like, somehow you it's in your favor. Don't know how that happened, but you totally got out of that situation.
So when I think of snakes, I think of Adam and Eve.
Yes.
This is the Lover's card, and I wish I could grab my Deviant Moon deck, because that has the snake biting into the guy's leg. When I think of the snake, I think of the temptation and the whispering and the slyness and the sneakiness. But also, I thought about this when we were just talking. You think about the shed, you can maybe also use it like as a glamour.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of, I mean, it's because it is the shed, and also the reason why snakes shed is because they grow bigger. So Scarlett was saying about transformation, you're kind of growing out of your old habits, your old things. So those are the little tidbits that popped in my head. I've never used snakeskin, but definitely transformation and the sneakiness. So that's something you have to be really specific with if you're using the snakeskin. Because you don't want it just to do whatever it wants to do. You want to tell it what to do. Yes, that card. See the little snake in the bottom. And also, if you were to use this snake shed, I believe probably from a venomous snake, it would have a different energy than from like a corn snake.
Right. Yes. Where did that go? I don't know. I love snake sheds. Snake sheds. I use it in my Deviant wall protection product. I have snake in there. It's very protective, and I like it because not only is it extremely protective, but it protects you not just by like guarding you, but it also like puts you in different places. So when someone's trying to throw something at you, it's like you're all over the map. It can't stick because the snake is like, whoosh, you're going.
Right. Snakes are good at hiding too, certain snakes, so I think you could use that too to help hide your energy.
And plus, a lot of people are afraid of snakes.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can definitely use it against people that way too.
I think that kind of also goes with power. Like we talked about love spells, why people are afraid of them, fear of power. Like snakes, the serpent is very powerful. And so that's another thing that people are really afraid of. And it brings power, but it brings power in a whole different way. The way it feels, it's weird, but it is power still. And so I think that's another reason why some people are they're scared of it.
Because snakes eat things whole. You know what I mean?
I totally had this very, very, very wrong
There's no chewing.
Vision popped in my
They
head.
take that mouse and they fucking swallow it, or they strangle it first, or they inject it with venom. Snakes are
Another
powerful.
another reason you could use snakes in sex magic. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's why it's in the lover's card too. That's a temptation, that sneakiness.
No gag reflex.
And temptation. Temptation isn't always a bad thing either. It could go part of that with you. Mix it up with your fire agate and your carnelian, and you can have a good time.
But yeah, it, by us expressing, everything that we've expressed so far, it's like it's so easy. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is natural to us, and so
People get bogged down on what's written, and if they just sat down and thought about what certain things are used for, or their own correspondences with certain things, like if you have snakes in your culture or something that are respected and revered, it's going to be different if in your culture or even your personal beliefs if you're scared of them. Like, you have to take your own mindset about different things and how you use different objects and herbs and crystals and really expand yourself and put that into your working. Because you can read something out of a book, but your personal beliefs are definitely going to change the meaning if you have a really positive or really negative reaction. Like if you're allergic to something, you're not going to use certain something in your spell work because you're not going to, you're going to be thinking ew the whole time, or if it's something that you think is really gross. You're going to be thinking ew the whole time, and you're not really going to get that focus. But you can also use that ew and those allergies against people as well. So you really need to know yourself, and you need to know your target as well.
Right.
If somebody really likes a specific scent or a specific flower or color, you can use that to attract them to you. You can also use their dislikes to repel them. So you can read up all the books you want, but you have to know your audience and yourself.
And I posted this. I think I posted this on my personal profile. I don't know if I shared it on my page or any page, but I expressed that a witch's heart, anything that we experience, is not the same as what Nimbus and Blythe love to say are muggles, as what the experience. A witch is totally different. We are on a different. I don't know if I'd say elevated. Maybe I just we're gonna sound elitist no matter what, but we are on a different scale, and it's not because necessarily. It's not because we're better. Maybe we are, whatever. But it's because we have a different experience. We are networking with different spirits. We are in tune with different things. We are psychic. We have all these energies flowing through us. So when we experience something, we kind of experience it at a very heightened level. So our hearts, our minds, our bodies, they crave things. They are different. And at most times they are far more intense. So when we experience something, when we filter certain things through us, it's intensified because of that. Because we are witches. Because we have this beautiful connection with each other, with a specific energy, with our deities, with the spirit of the land, spirit of the place, whatever. We have all these things that are our allies. And so when we experience anything, it's intensified, like I said, because of that connection. So anything that we do, we have all of that. So we have these powerful emotions, these powerful things that flow through us that we can utilize. We don't have to allow these things to really take us down and bog us down. We could allow these experiences, these intense things. Sorry. We could allow these things to benefit us. So we aren't the same. We're not like people who don't practice. We're not, and it's okay. We're different, and that's fine. And we shouldn't try and pretend to be like everyone else, you know? We should own our power, own our skills, own everything that we are, and be comfortable with it. It's just who we are.
And I think this is one of the big things is people don't know themselves. They don't take the time to get to know themselves because they're too busy trying to be something else or somebody else, or they don't know how to do or handle, or they listen to everybody else instead of listening to themselves. I think the basic fundamentals of being a witch is knowing yourself first. You have to know yourself before you
And
get
that's something that like we constantly say, and I'm pretty sure people are annoyed by that, but it doesn't fucking matter.
It has to be repeated because nobody gets it.
And people don't. And the thing is, like, you can't pretend to know yourself. You can't, because you're going to go through things that hurt you, and you're going to get frustrated. You're going to block it. And if you knew yourself, and, okay, again, personal, but recently, if I didn't know myself in a certain experience that I went through recently, I probably would have, like, lost it, or just really allowed myself into a place that I did not want to be in. Like, a lot of people don't know, you know, they don't know where I've come from. They don't know, like, the person I was, like, years and years ago, like, how I was not nice. Like, I was not in a good place. I'm not saying I'm nice now, but I just wasn't a very happy person. If I did not know myself well enough, I would have allowed myself to become that person again, to not care, to just become a very dark and very crotchety person, you know? But I know myself. I know what I want. I know what the spirit teaches me. I know what my heart wants. I know what my everything wants. And so I allowed that experience to teach me. I allowed that experience to flow through me. I allowed myself enough time to kind of mourn it. But I listened, and I'm like, I know what I want. Like, I know what I want out of life. I don't need to wait for anyone for that. I know what I want because I know what I'm here to do. I know it. And so I will follow through. And that helped to pull me out. That helped to allow enough time to kind of process what happened. And then it has given me time to come out and not stay there. And actually, it's kind of made me a little, I guess it's kind of made me a little nicer, you know, trying to be a better person, trying to allow my nicer side to show. Look at
See, for me, it's a little bit different because I know myself, and I know that for myself, it takes me a lot longer to process things and go through different emotional situations. So when I say that, you know, I had a breakup in February and I'm still not over it, to me, that's normal. To other people,
like, that happened to me like a couple weeks ago.
Right. Michael's a couple weeks ago, and I'm over 6 months ago. And but for me, it's okay. It's normal. And it also helps me it helped me realize that there's other things I need to focus on. So I'm not, I guess Michael is in a position and in a mind space where he can go and try to seek out different things. Between doing this and my kids and my job, I don't have the patience to start up a new relationship, and I'm still not over the old one. And I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it. Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to know myself, and this goes with the not beating yourself up. I know that this has been for a long time, and I cannot beat myself up over it either. And because that does you no good.
Another thing like that we're like freaking like the love doctors over here. Shit. I think another thing that we have, and this just it transfers to everything that we do as witches, so it's fine. And a lot of witches have fucked up relationship issues, so it's all good. Yeah. But I think that especially when you're like friends, like we're here, your experience, my experience is not the same. We can compare because we've both had certain things happen, but we can't like don't get frustrated. Like I'm telling anyone, like don't get frustrated. Let's say mine, I got over it fast or whatever, and I really did. Like I'm not like holding on to anything. Like if I processed it, like I'm not like denying anything. I'm fine. Whereas you or someone else or whatever, it takes longer. Do not compare yourself to another person.
Right.
Just someone else processed whatever faster and you didn't. That doesn't mean anything. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay because you, whoever, if you need longer to process whatever you need to process, that is okay. Just because someone gets over or processes something sooner doesn't negate you. It doesn't mean that you should just get over it.
Right, and some people don't understand that because they see like the person getting over it in a week, and maybe they have a new boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you have the people that take longer, and people, you know, will tell them, oh, well, you should just get over it, and you should just go find somebody else. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't need to. I'm good. I'm okay. So you really need to know yourself and basically tell everybody else to fuck off and stop with their advice because they will give it because that's what people do. They're nosy. But yeah, you definitely have to know yourself. I don't know how many times we can say that.
Well, we have to like fucking repeat ourselves because people don't want to. They don't do it. It's just they don't do it.
And how do you get to know yourself? All you have to do is pay attention. You pay attention to how you react to different things or how you don't react to different things. Or you could do whatever is called shadow work if you want to. I think that's something that should be done constantly. It doesn't need a label or name. But you really just need to pay attention to how you react. Like, I know how I react when I get angry. It just, I'm sure you know how you react. I know how I react when I get sad. I can see what's going on around me and in my physical space and be like, okay, I'm really happy or I'm really depressed. You can tell by your sleeping habits, your eating habits. That's what it is to get to know yourself. And you can tell energy-wise in people, too.
Yes. You know what's funny, though, is like when you start spending a lot of time with people, especially when we're like through the fucking computer, you know?
Right.
When you start, you know you're building relationships with people when you know when they're mad, when you know when they're sad, you know when they're going through something. And the thing is, like, you don't always say anything. You just let them be. If they want to say something, they say something. If you want to call them out, you do.
Yeah.
But you know, and that's when... That's why we're witches, because we're amazing. You just know, like when you are in alignment with your craft, when you're in alignment with the witch self, you are so connected with the influences inside of you, the influences outside of you, that when you're communicating with someone, when we're having a conversation, you are already connected to them. And you know, I'm gonna, again, another personal experience is recently I've been talking to a friend, and it freaks me out because, and I think it has to do with my freaking spell and me just trying to be more open with people and me just trying to kind of expand the compassion, expand just who I am and not try to be so mean. But I've noticed that the psychic connection that I have with my friends is like really intense, and I don't like that. Like, I like it, but I don't like it because when you're just talking to someone and they know what you're thinking or they know what you're feeling and they can feel you like reading them or they can feel you that like you're in their space. I'm like, normally most people cannot feel me read them.
And Michael doesn't like that when we tell him, like, Michael, we know that you just had a bad day a couple days ago. We didn't say anything, but we know something's going on. And then he just looks at us and he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't like that. And I guess it's like it is a control thing. I like being able to have the upper hand, even though I'm not going to like do anything, but I think a lot of people like that. Like they like to feel like they have the upper hand. And so when you have this connection with people and they're already like, they know you, like you can't get anything by them because they know when you're in their space. They know when you're trying to, you know, if you're trying to see if they're lying or if they're telling the truth or whatever, because they can feel you. That shit is annoying.
And it's annoying when you're trying to block people from feeling your shit, like your emotional shit, and you're like, there's no point because I know they're going to feel it anyway. There really is no point to even trying to block this right now. But I have noticed that within our little group, that when somebody's going through something, well, it sounds so bad, but the other people will talk about it, and then like within the week, the person that's going through whatever it is will like confess. Not like, you know what I mean? It's actually, I have noticed that, and I don't know if the conversation kind of, it's like a knock on their head, and like, okay, I need to just come clean with this thing that's bothering me. But I have noticed that too, and that's why it is very important to be careful with who you share your energy with.
Yeah.
With your friends, you have to be comfortable with being in their space and them being in your space. And it is definitely, if it's a new experience for you, it can be weird and feel very
especially when you're like freaks, you know, like especially when you have like just interesting thoughts and they're like, oh my gosh, are they gonna like, do they know?
I know sometimes I have these weird thoughts and I'm like, I really hope that they can't pick this shit up. But anyways,
and we're just like, oh wow, kinky. Like, let's get that.
But yeah, I mean, you can, and that's part of just our connection. That's really the only connection we can really speak on. But and actually, if anybody has any other similar experiences, I really want to hear about them. I want to know. Like, I doubt we're the only ones, but I really want to hear if you have that kind of connection with your friends or your spouse or your children or whatever it is. I do want to hear about that because that really interests me. And it takes time to build too. It doesn't happen right away all the time. It did with us, but for the most part, it does take time, and it gets stronger.
It does, very strong. And the scary thing though, like the scary thing is like that's just the beginning. Like it's only gonna get stronger, especially when you give it enough nurturing. Like when you build it, it's just gonna get stronger, and that's kind of a little daunting. But it's also liberating knowing that you have other people that hold you up no matter what.
Right.
So if anyone has any questions, like if you have any little questions, go ahead and throw them up here right now so we can kind of answer them. I know some people are still watching. Thank you so much. We totally appreciate it. But if you have any questions, totally put them up. We'll try and answer them. I want to say thank you. Oh, my friend Melissa sent me a package.
Awesome.
Feathers, which is really interesting because feathers, like I've been getting bombarded with feathers. Normally I'm just like, oh, cool feather. But no, like they've been all over the place for me lately, and I don't know. I'm not sure. But Melissa did a video, kind of her introduction video to her YouTube channel. But excuse me, she's also gonna start doing like video responses to Deviant Witchery. So we encourage that. We want that. So anyone, start doing videos, start doing blog posts, do stuff, start engaging so we can kind of share and expand our knowledge base so we could kind of like, we're trying to create something here. We're trying to create momentum. We're trying to build something. And the only way that we're going to kind of like build other practitioners up and support each other is if we start talking, if we start expanding, and sharing, and growing.
Use that
when the book is coming out.
Use that platform to get over your fear. Use that platform to be able to talk about things and to express things. And even if you want to make it like a unlisted video and post it in a group, we can do that too. You don't have to make it for like everybody to see.
Right.
But yeah, you never know who's watching. You never know who you're going to touch or who you're going to inspire. I almost said expire.
Expire? You never know that either because sometimes people need to be expired. They have an expiration.
Oh yeah, what is the book? I really wish people would stop asking us because I'm tired of answering that question. It will be out when we're done.
It's not y'all, it's us. I mean, it's the whole experience. We're frustrated because we wanted it out yesterday. It's everything. So we don't know when it's going to be out again, but it will be out again and better than before, and professionally edited and taken care of. So yeah, we don't have a set date, and we can't really say one way or the other, but it will be done.
And when we know it'll be done, we will tell you when it will
Yes,
be done. Like, it's not a secret. We're just seriously, we have to go through and change things and add things, and a lot of things were supposed to be done and weren't done. So that's why we took it down in the first place.
Ding, 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 sing, ling, my ling.
So that's that.
Anyways, exactly. So yes, no one else is putting up no questions over here. We talked about a lot of shit today.
Next week, we are going to be starting the traditional witchcraft, I don't want to say series, but our videos that we planned on doing. So definitely next week, unless somebody else has some crazy emergency, we are going to start talking about traditional witchcraft. Nimbus has a lot. Nimbus and Michael have, I believe, the most knowledge about it, which is why I definitely wanted both of them to be here. So that's why we kind of, move things around a little bit. And that's going to start next week. Like I said, unless there's some crazy emergency. And if anybody could keep the bad weather away from Scarlett, that would be super awesome.
That would be wonderful.
Because she always gets a lot of rain on the days that we're supposed to do these shows.
She does, and this is kind of how I know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I was taught this in psychic training. When you are doing something wonderful, when you're doing something that you're supposed to be doing, when you're doing something that is going to change, people's thought processes and expand and bring about better energy and more potent experiences and enhance people, there are things that try and stand in your way. There are things and influences that try and keep you down. And so I know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing because, Scarlett keeps getting hit by a tornado. She'd be getting hit by all these things.
Nimbus gets a trip to the beach. The internet goes out.
Yes. And that's why we're late so often. Is like we try and get here and get this shit done, and then it's like something happens, connection goes out, whatever, and it's like fuck. But so yeah, things stand in your way, but we just don't let it, affect us. We still do what we're supposed to be doing.
That's part of the pushing through it and not letting things get you down. Things get thrown in your face for a reason because they want it's the universe being like, okay, how are you gonna handle this now? Right. And you gotta be like, okay, you hit like a bitch, keep it going.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly. So do you guys have somewhere to buy your items? We will put that in the description of this show. Scarlett has her website or her Facebook page, Scarlett's Cauldron. I have Deviant Witch, Deviant Witchery, DeviantWitch.com is where I sell like my items. Blythe has her Etsy.
Right, I don't have too much on it right now. Nimbus also has his tea on your site.
Nimbus's tea, psychic tea. It's really good. I've been drinking it, so I might have to buy more soon. But yeah, we do, and we'll put that in the link to this.
Right. And I have other things in my mind that I want to create, so I'm hoping that comes into fruition soon.
Mm-hmm. So yes, there's so much that I'm excited for. There's so much that is in the works for us, and stuff that's not really been talked about, but that's stuff that's kind of developing naturally. Yeah, it's just going to get better, and we are grateful for everyone who has been with us. We're grateful for the entire community, our Deviant Witch community, our Deviant Witchery community, because you inspire us, and this is kind of the reason why we started everything. This is the reason why we are doing what we're doing.
Right. We don't do this. We do this for fun, but we don't do this just for fun, because if we just want to do it for fun, we wouldn't even record it in the first place.
Right.
We do this for everybody to help other people, not just listen to ourselves talk. Because if we just want to listen to ourselves talk, we just wouldn't record it.
Right. Is there anything else that you want to say?
No, not really.
I feel like there's something that we're forgetting. Oh. Is it right here?
Oh.
I 1,200 subscribers, YouTube subscribers, and this box will be full. You know, I might put up more stuff. I don't know yet, but I love gifting shit. So, and it's not shit. It's like really good stuff. But this whole box and maybe more, depending. But when we get 1,200 YouTube subscribers and we get people starting to engage and share with us, and really just when we start building like a network and start communicating and having fun, this bad boy will be sent to someone. There's a lot of craft in here. There's flying oil. There's a lot of stuff. And so help us get 1,200 subscribers. You know, share our page. Get your bitches to be like subscribing to our channel, because we got a lot of fun stuff to say. We have fun.
You gotta watch it too.
Yeah. we love our craft. We love what we do, and we just want to share. We want to build something here, and we can't do that alone. We need everyone to kind of help and support one another. It's not just about us, it's about all of us. What we do is for you. What we do is for us. What we do is to kind of like, we go from us to you, which is recycled back to us. It's like we share, we grow, we expand, and that's the point. So,
and that's why you cannot be solitary in your own little fucking ball. You have to expand and talk to people and deal with people and get over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my new thing, is you cannot be, if you're solitary, you're stagnant.
Yeah. And it's true. I mean, especially because like even in like the hair industry, if you're working by yourself, you don't get inspired by your coworkers. You just do the same thing over and over. You don't get the latest trends. The only way you're going to get the latest trends, new cuts, all of this inspiration is if you go to like hair shows, which if you go to hair shows, you're networking with other stylists. You're seeing other things happening. You're taking extra education. So you're still attaching yourself to a group. And that's the same thing with us, with Witchcraft, with everything that we're here to do. You can still be alone, but you need to take time to be part of a whole, because witches are part of a whole. We're part of a group. We're part of a collective, even if we are solitary. And to get recharged, to get inspired again, to expand and grow, we have to tap into like the collective.
Because we are all connected.
Because we are all connected. So, with that being said, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this experience. Thank you so much. So, check out our Facebook page. Check out the group. Interact with us on YouTube. And like Blythe said earlier, if you don't have anything witchy on your profile, you can send Blythe or myself a message.
We actually get a lot of fake profiles and a lot of super Christian people. I don't know why they try to join, and you can tell. And I personally go through everybody's profile as much as they have public. And if they just have a bunch of game shit public, or if they're in groups that are different languages or all parts of the world, it's just spam, and I don't accept it. So don't take it personally. You just if you're not out, you're not gonna talk in a group about witchcraft. So what is the point of being in the group?
Right. And if you want to communicate and you have nothing on your profile that says it, message us and let us know that you sent a request, and that's cool. Another thing, if you are in the group and you get removed, whatever, shit happens. But I've actually accidentally removed certain people who were actually active. But I search everyone's name, and if they haven't posted ever, if they haven't posted in months, I remove them. So if you want to rejoin, just send me a message. And if I accidentally, remove you and you were active, I apologize. Just send me a message, rejoin, and I'll accept you.
Right.
Well, that's that. So, yes, check all that shit out. And remember, we only have 2 days left for the tees, the t-shirts.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Wonderful.
They're going to be different than these, but the front image is the same. They're just,
Yeah.
the actual styles are different. These are one of a kinds. You don't get these.
No. But yeah, it was fun creating, and if you are interested, we'll create more. Winter is coming.
I want a hoodie.
You know. But definitely check us out. And please, you guys, I keep asking. I was scared, and I did not want to do these damn videos, and here I am. I'm still doing them. I still don't care for them fully. I look forward to them because I get to share time with the people I care for. But I'm doing it. And so if I can do it, really, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Don't feel scared. Just go for it. Start creating videos. Start, engaging. They don't have to be long. Just, make a few-minute video. Talk about shit. But please do not make a fucking haul. Like, I don't give a flying fuck about how much shit you got. Once in a blue moon, that's wonderful. I like it. But if all your damn videos are all this bullshit that you got that you'll never use, I'm not going to watch it and we're not going to post it. But even if it was from me, I don't care. Like, but if you want to post a review, that's great. But again, like post, like, I want people to start thinking and start sharing. So if you do haul videos, that's great. Once in a blue moon.
And if it makes it easier for you to talk to somebody, get a friend, get a buddy, get on, do this, or get them to sit next to you and talk to them. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable talking to the camera, or because they feel like they're talking to themselves. Pretend you're talking to us. Pretend you're talking to your best friend.
I'm probably gonna regret saying this, but if you want, depending on my schedule, I will freaking talk. Like, I will get on and I will join your video. Like, just do it. Like, if you need someone to communicate with, just do it. If you want to kind of like if you want to share the video with me, message me and we'll work something out. But we're not going to just stare at each other's faces, I mean, we're beautiful and all, but that's awkward on camera. So yeah, let's have fun. Let's start doing videos. Let's start engaging. Let's create something here. Check out everything that we have to offer. And start engaging with us. Comment on our videos. Tell us what you know. Yeah. We're just going to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun things that are in progress. So thank you for watching. Share this damn video when it goes live. Share it all over the damn place because people need to know. That's right. And have fun. Peace out.
Peace out.